In August 2025, a couple from Sheridan, Wyoming thought their remote campsite in the Bighorn Mountains was safe, until their trail camera told a very different story. They'd set up the cameras to catch wildlife while they were away, but what showed up was no deer or bear. It was a man wearing a ski mask, leather gloves, and a headlamp, creeping around their gear between 1 and 5 a.m. in the dead of night. The photos captured him stepping in and out of the campsite repeatedly. At one point, he rifled through a storage box on an ATV and carried something off under his arm, but nothing of major value was taken. When the couple returned days later, they found the items missing and the campsite was a mess. They never reported the incident to law enforcement, yet the mystery of why he wandered in and out of their camp for hours still haunts them. In November 2025, YouTuber The Northwest Wind went camping on land he was thinking of buying. The property sat near the Allegheny River, a quiet place with steep cliffs and thick woods. But late at night, while sitting in his car, he heard a woman screaming.
There's a really up noise coming from the woods right now. It sounds like a woman screaming. I was sitting in my front seat with the heated seat on, warming up. It's been dark for a long time now, and it sounds like a woman screaming bloody murder. Listen. Literally, I'm freaking out right now.
He turned off the heat and listened again.
I don't know what the hell that was, but that has me absolutely terrified. I'm not lying. Literally, I don't want to be here anymore.
Shaken, he called the police, believing someone was in danger.
And I was on the phone with my wife with the windows up and the heat on, and I heard a woman screaming. And then I turned the heat up.
What was she screaming?
Just bloody murder.
Okay. So I guess what we're going to do is we're going to meet you. You're at the we'll send somebody down to speak with you, then you can show them where you were, okay?
Okay. I appreciate it.
I think.
Thanks. Okay, well, I guess now okay, this is turning into a nightmare. This is absolutely insane. This is insane. Okay, I'm gonna get back in the car for a minute and gather myself right now.
Officers later searched the area, but no clear answer was ever given. Did someone really need help, or was it just a trap? I'm guessing he's not buying the land. A man was hiking alone in the woods in the United Kingdom when suddenly he heard a mix of chanting and singing. He moved toward the noise and started recording. There was a group of people dressed in white, walking in a strange, precise formation. It looked like a cult gathering, so the men didn't stick around much longer and left the area. On June 22, 2023, YouTuber Metro on the Move was hiking the Appalachian Trail when he spotted something small ahead on the path. It was a baby bear.
Look, dude, there's a bear, dude. Right there. Right there. You see it? You see the bear?
He froze, because where there's a cub, there's almost always a mother nearby, and a mother bear protecting her cub can charge without warning. For a few tense moments they stood there, scanning the trees, but fortunately nothing else appeared.
That's good, he just saw the other people go by. He's not big either.
No, that means the mama's somewhere around here. Oh, there he goes.
The cub slowly wandered off into the woods, and the hikers carefully continued on their way, hearts pounding. It could have ended very differently if the mother had shown up. Reddit user Independent Suit 415 posted a photo captured near Saltpeter Cave on a neighbor's trail camera. In the shot, something stands in the woods that at first glance doesn't look normal. To many, it looked like a pale crawler. But most people argue it's nothing more than a deer, hunched over and turned at an odd angle, making its legs and body look spooky in the infrared image. So was this a strange creature caught on trail cam, or just a deer in bad lighting? On October 14, 2006, 8-year-old Samuel "Sammy" Bohelka vanished inside Crater Lake National Park in southern Oregon. It was around 4 p.m. Sammy was on a day hike with his father near the Cleetwood Cove trailhead. According to authorities, Sammy suddenly ran into the woods. His father immediately called out for him to stop, but Sammy kept running, and within moments, he disappeared from sight. Sammy was described as fearless. His father later told investigators that to Sammy, running into the woods may have felt like a game. His mother, Kirsten Becker, explained that Sammy had autism. She said he was obsessed with finding yellow pumice stones at Crater Lake, stones he called gold. That day, he wanted to keep searching for them. When it was time to leave, Sammy ran off, scaling up a steep slope of pumice rock, terrain described as being like a sand dune covered in meatball-sized stones. The loose ground made it difficult for his father to catch up. His father believes Sammy may have tried to hide and then doubled back, but became lost. When he couldn't find his son, Sammy's father flagged down a passing car for help. Search efforts began immediately. Helicopters, search dogs, rescue crews. Then disaster struck. A snowstorm hit the park later that same day, dumping roughly 7 inches of snow and bringing sub-freezing temperatures. The storm grounded helicopters and severely hampered search efforts for nearly 2 days. Rescuers searched under logs, rocks, and small shelter areas, hoping Sammy may have taken cover during the storm. Despite massive efforts, no trace of him was ever found. Officials stated at the time there was no evidence of foul play or criminal activity. Over the years, search teams have returned again and again. In September 2025, nearly 2 decades later, multiple agencies once more combed the rugged terrain around Crater Lake, but nothing belonging to him has ever been recovered. 2 men were on a hike on the Appalachian Trail when a simple rest stop turned dangerous for them. An aggressive man approached them. The hikers tried to calm him, but the man wouldn't back down.
Hey man, this whole thing is a united country, and North and South doesn't...
They were alone and miles from help, so they decided to use the last thing they could need for defense. As the guy moved closer, the hikers pepper sprayed him and escaped quickly. What would have happened if the men hadn't brought the pepper spray with them? A man was walking through the woods late at night when something froze him in place. He pulled out his phone and managed to record a short clip. Then he ran as fast as he could. Some say it could have been a bobcat, as their cries sound eerily like humans, but others say it might be a mimic, creatures said to copy human voices to lure people deeper into the forest. Was it just an animal, or did he narrowly escape something far more sinister? A group of campers was settling in for the night when suddenly a pair of eyes reflected in their flashlight. A mountain lion was just a few feet away, sitting quietly and watching them. The campers recorded from a distance and tried to stay calm. The clip ended there, leaving us wondering what they did next, but I assume this was their sign to pack up. Denver, Colorado, summer 1938. On Quebec Street lived William and Snowdrop Bellharts and their 10 children. Their youngest was 4-year-old Alfred, small, energetic, deeply loved. Like many families escaping the city heat, they planned a 4th of July camping trip to Rocky Mountain National Park. They arrived on July 2nd. Their campsite sat a 1/4 mile west of Fall River Lodge, near the meeting of the Roaring and Fall Rivers, just below Horseshoe Falls. The next morning, July 3rd, the family woke early. William walked to a nearby stream to wash up. Alfred followed. Two family friends, Orrin Bronson and Walter Hansen, were heading upstream about 500 feet away. When William finished, he turned back toward camp. Alfred told him he wanted to follow Orrin and Walter instead and would return with them. William agreed. It was a small decision, one that would haunt him forever. A short time later, Orrin and Walter returned to camp. Alfred was not with them. At first, no one panicked. He must have wandered off the trail. He couldn't be far. But when shouts went unanswered, concern turned to fear. Rangers were notified immediately. Search efforts focused on the confluence of the rivers where Alfred was last seen. Bloodhounds were brought in from the state penitentiary in Canyon City. The dogs repeatedly led handlers to the riverbank. Then they picked up a scent and followed it nearly 1.5 miles along the water. At a bridge they hesitated, uncertain whether the trail crossed. One dog veered up the Lawn Lake Trail. Searchers expanded in that direction. Unfortunately, there was no sign of the boy. Two theories quickly emerged. Alfred had fallen into the roaring river and drowned, or he had been taken by wildlife, possibly a black bear. On July 4th, rangers constructed a makeshift dam using sandbags, rocks, and logs to slow the river's flow. They searched the exposed riverbed thoroughly. If Alfred had drowned, logic said he would have been found. He wasn't. William and Snowdrop refused to believe their son had drowned. They believed he was still alive, somewhere in the forest. The search pushed deeper into the dense woodland. Volunteers, rangers, law enforcement, members of the Civilian Conservation Corps. Nearly 150 men combed the terrain for 10 days. Nothing. On the 5th day, a troubling discovery surfaced. Inside an abandoned cabin about 1 mile away, searchers found a gauze bandage. Alfred had been wearing one on his heel. He said Alfred hated bandages and often tore them off. It raised a chilling possibility. Maybe he hadn't fallen into the river at all. Then came a report from Mount Chapin. A Denver man claimed he had seen a small boy matching Alfred's description near Devil's Nest, 6 miles west of the campsite. A brutal, rugged climb. Nearly impossible terrain for a 4-year-old alone. Climbers searched the area, but no child was ever found. Soon after, a woman in western Nebraska reported seeing a boy resembling Alfred walking along a highway beside a man. That lead also went nowhere. On July 13th, 10 days after Alfred vanished, the official search was called off. The Civilian Conservation Corps was dismissed. The Beilhart's family returned to Denver without their youngest son. 5 months later, a letter arrived. Handwritten, crude. It demanded $500. The drop location was 1 block from their home. Police staked out the site and arrested a man and a woman, but they were merely extortionists exploiting the tragedy. The ransom note was a hoax, and Alfred never came home. In 2025, Reddit user UnderstandingFair494 had a chilling camping encounter in East Scotland. Late at night, as he was preparing to sleep, a loud, high-pitched scream suddenly echoed from the woods. Over and over. It sounded almost human. Some commenters suggested it was probably a fox, but he wasn't convinced. The sound didn't quite match what he heard. Was it just a fox that sounded slightly different, or was something else out there in the forest that night? Now, if you're enjoying my videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support helps me creating new stories every week, and it means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching. Someone captured something truly unsettling while walking on a quiet street late at night. He saw a human-like figure moving on all fours. Its hips were unnaturally high, and the posture seemed completely wrong. Scared, he ran after recording it for a few seconds. Some people say it's a cryptid, others doubt if it's even real. A woman was hiking alone in a forest when she spotted something moving below. At first, she thought it was a normal animal, but couldn't figure out what kind.
That's for sure Grizz, right?
But the more she watched, the more she realized this was different. It was massive, walking on all fours, but far too big to be a dog. Some say it could have been a direwolf, a lone alpha, even though they've been extinct for thousands of years. Others suggest it might have been the Dogman, a creature reportedly seen in remote forests across North America. Whatever it was, its size and posture left her shaken. A man was riding through dense forest when something unusual caught his eye. Between the trees, he saw a massive humanoid figure. It was completely dark, almost as if it absorbed the light around it. The man started recording and tried to zoom in, but the image remained blurry. The uncertainty made the footage all the more unsettling. Some say it's Bigfoot, known to intimidate intruders by smashing branches or making displays deep in the woods. But skeptics say it's just a woodsman, working at a distance in low light. What do you think it is? A group of campers noticed a man wandering around their campsite one evening through their security camera. The man wore white gloves, which seemed strange. When they posted the footage on Facebook, it turned out the man, named Lou Koski, was just looking for his dock that had floated away the night before. Lou confirmed it himself, explaining he was simply trying to locate the dock and had no criminal intent. All a misunderstanding. A family gathering in the mountains turned into every parent's worst nightmare. 6-year-old Darius McDougall disappeared near a campsite south of Crow's Nest Pass in Alberta on September 21st, 2025, while on a camping trip with relatives. He was helping tidy up with other kids, and then he was just gone. Search teams poured into the dense alpine forest. Helicopters, drones, dogs, and more than 400 volunteers, all looking for him across rugged terrain, waterways, and thick brush. They covered nearly 22 square kilometers and logged over 11,000 hours searching, but found no sign of him. After 11 days with no trace, the RCMP and Search and Rescue Alberta called off the ground search, saying if Darius were still in the area, it was now presumed he was no longer alive. Investigators confirmed there was no credible evidence of abduction or foul play so far. His family kept vigil at the last place he was seen, refusing to leave and holding on to the hope that he somehow might be found. To this day, no confirmed explanation has emerged, and Darius's disappearance remains an open investigation with no clear answers. Where did he go? In March of 2022, Reddit user QueasySun1796 went to Waverly Hills Sanatorium with her sister, brother-in-law, and boyfriend for her birthday. She took many photos while exploring the abandoned building, but later when she looked through them, one picture stood out. In the frame, a shadow appeared. She claims that no person was there when the photo was taken, yet somehow, something was captured. She posted it to Reddit, wondering if you see it too. A man was exploring a remote area in Mexico when he stumbled across something unusual. A massive bone was lying there alone. According to him, there was no river or lake nearby, and no known animals in the area that could produce a bone this size. Is it something we don't know about, or was it all staged to get views? I don't necessarily think it was staged, but what would explain it then? Reddit user Sturdy's Dan posted what they called the craziest image they'd ever taken inside Boulder Church near Leamington, an old church in the United Kingdom. They said the photo was from 2016, taken during a visit to the ancient building. When they zoomed in later and brightened the image, a faint figure appeared on the left side. It seemed to be wearing something like a white dress, with what looked like dark, large eyes. The comments were going crazy, with many saying it was the greatest ghost capture in a long time, but another Reddit user, Schnaff, called them out, saying it was fake and showed receipts. Apparently, the figure was just an image taken from the internet. This just shows how easily we can be fooled these days. Keep an open mind. Reddit user No Na Me was walking home at 10 p.m. when they came across a creepy trailer and froze. A head was staring out the window, right at them. As they got closer, they realized it was a mannequin head. They quickly tried to pass the trailer when they saw even more mannequin heads inside. Some people thought it was just a quirky decoration, or maybe a mobile nail salon display, or possibly something meant to scare robbers off. Either way, it felt unsettling. A woman was camping alone by a remote lake when she noticed something strange in the water and recorded this video. A green glow was pulsing beneath the surface. As far as she knew, there was no one around, and whatever the light was didn't make a sound. Maybe it's divers, maybe some equipment. It must have a logical explanation. But given how isolated the place felt, it just seemed so random. On a freezing winter night in 2023, YouTuber Exploring with Bear went on a solo camping trip. He was simply testing a tent heater and an MRE. But while building his campfire, he heard something strange.
Something's over there right now. You guys hear that? Do you guys hear that? It's getting closer. It's like something's being dragged.
A loud, dragging sound moving through the woods. Later, he mentioned the area is known as Bigfoot territory.
A little interesting tidbit of this location out here. It is Bigfoot country also. There's that one show, Finding Bigfoot it might be called. Even came out here. And the one with Bobo in it. So there is Bigfoot, and there's also skinwalkers. I mean, we'll keep our eyes peeled for Bigfoot for sure. And skinwalkers here at night. Back in the day, there was a lot of Indians in this area.
Back at camp, as he cooked dinner, the noises continued.
Oh, crap. Holy smokes. Did you get... That was a scary sound. I was coughing. I don't know if you guys heard that. Coming from back there, and I can't see nothing over there. Pitch black. Oh, my flashlight ain't working now. Wonderful. What the heck was that?
That night, he noticed something standing in the distance.
And over there, because right now the light's in my eyes and I can't see nothing over there. But my eyes are starting to get a little adjusted to the dark because I had no lights on. I was just sitting here. It looked like something white. Like I could see, I could make out something white. And I tried to get a flashlight on it, but then it was gone. So that was pretty weird. But I didn't get to see really what it was, but it looked like something standing. It was lighter. Not white, but lighter. Like I could just make out something. It was weird. I don't know how to explain it really.
Then, moments later, he saw it again.
How is that possible? There's something sort of like light and glowing over there. I can see it with my eye. It's not coming up on camera. But once I put the light, this light on it, there's nothing there. Nothing at all. It don't even look like, I can't even tell like what it could be. It's like nothing. Light off though, and it's there. That is weird. I do not know what that is.
Each time he turned his light toward it, it disappeared. He wasn't able to capture it on camera. Shaken, he packed up early and left the woods. In 2021, a man named John went on a solo camping trip deep in the wilderness. Earlier that day, he claimed he heard strange noises coming from the woods around his camp. Curious and a little uneasy, he set up a trail camera that night to see what might be out there. When he checked the footage the next morning, he was shocked. At the edge of the trees stood a figure with glowing eyes, watching. The clip ended before anything else happened, and no explanation ever followed. Was something truly lurking near his campsite that night, or was it all just a staged video for views? Someone was camping in Colombia when they saw a craft in the sky hovering and moving oddly. The clip is grainy, making it hard to draw a clear conclusion. Some believe it's a real UFO. Others think it's just AI generated, a staged hoax, or maybe just a balloon. For the camper though, it felt real, and slightly unsettling. For more scary trail encounters, watch this next video.